this tutorial, we'll be going over how to export data from FieldLink. Here you can see a project that we did a survey of existing conditions for. You can see that there are green checks and red X's for points that were laid out in tolerance and out of tolerance. Let's go to More, Projects, Export. In the export screen, we are exporting points. At the bottom, it can be deceiving because it says DWG. However, we are exporting points into a DWG, CSV, SKP, or XLSX format. Now, in our More Projects Export screen, first we have to choose the data that we would like to export. We can, for example, hit our eyeball or current view button to select everything that we see. This is a very easy way to export every single point on our project at once. Alternatively, we'll hit our clear button and hit yes. We can only select individual points or multiple points by clicking on them one at a time. We also have our window pick button to select points by clicking and dragging our mouse. Now, with the points we have selected, and let's just select everything, we now have to choose what format we would like to export things in. We can do it to a DWG, which is a drawing file. It will create a DWG file of the point locations and their elevations and point names. The points will be noted by a little crosshair inside of a circle. This can be handy in order to move points on your project. Let's take a look at what this looks like. I'm going to hit DWG and I'm going to leave it on Design for now so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to export. And this will save into my exports folder within my FieldLink project. Let's import it into our project to see what it looks like. More, Projects, Import. I'm going to come into my export training folder here and click into my exports folder. This is the same exact format as your Windows File Explorer folder format. Now, here's our export, and we can import it into our project. Let's turn off all of our points so we can see that drawing. I selected Include Line Work, so as long as I have both points selected on a line, it exported the line work that I created within FieldLink from my Create Line Work menu. Let's zoom in, and we can see that the points are noted with a crosshair and a circle around them. I have some layers turned off already on my project. I'm going to turn them back on so you can see that this is how the DWG format is exported. It does make a point symbol layer as well as a point name and point elevation layer, so you can easily turn these on and off. This can be a very handy feature to move control points or other points around in FieldLink. We can also do certain things like alignment to control or checking your as-built situations and comparing it to a model. We can rotate this drawing, move it, and align it using our map manipulation tools if needed. Let's go back to More, Projects, Export, and go through the other options. I'm going to turn off this drawing layer and back on our points. Now to the next format, we have CSV. This is a comma-separated values Excel spreadsheet. This is a common format that we can use to transfer points, which can be layout points or control points, to other data collectors. I'm going to again keep it on Design and hit Export. Here in my Documents, FieldLink, and the current job that I named it, Export Training, we can go back into our exports folder and open up this CSV file. As you can see, it gives us a printout of names, X, Y, Z coordinates for each point, as well as the description and layer that all of the points were on. Again, this is just an easy way to transfer points back and forth from the office to field or to other data collectors. Now, back into my More Projects export. Next, we have an SKP. This file type will go into SketchUp very simply. Finally, we have an Excel spreadsheet, which will simply put your points into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, very similar to the CSV file format. Next, we have design versus staked. If you notice, all of these points on this project have either a green check or a red X on it. That means that we have done layout on this project. These points were designed to be in a very specific location. Each point has its own coordinate, which, if perfectly placed, would not have any deviation. However, since we were doing an as-built survey on this project, we will have deviations. For example, if I click my info button, I will click my 0.130 here, and you can see where it's actually supposed to be versus the horizontal and vertical deviation. So if on a perfect design, this X coordinate was 127, Y was 98.2, then we are 3/4 off horizontally as well as a vertical deviation. So if we click design, we are exporting the perfect design coordinate of all of these points. Alternatively, if we click staked, we are exporting the staked out coordinates, or those incorrect, imperfect coordinates, to a DWG, CSV, or otherwise type of file. Let's go to a DWG and export our staked to see what that would look like. Let me edit this out so that I can put staked at the end, and we will have a different drawing file. Again, I'll include my line work and hit export. Now, let's go to More, Projects, Import, and here's our export training staked points in a DWG format. Let's hit Import. Now, if we go to More and Map, I want to turn off my points again. And let's go to our model management tool here and hide our original drawing file so we just have the staked points. Let's zoom in. And notice now it gives us 2 different points for each point we've laid out. It gives us the correct point, the design point, and it gives us our staked point with a flag that notes if it was in tolerance or out of tolerance. Here, I have my vertical tolerances turned off or to ignore. So that's why it looks like there's a big deviation here, but we were not doing elevations in this survey. So if I would zoom in on another point, let's find one of our red points. Here we go. The error on this point was greater than the tolerance I have set. So therefore, it's giving us a red flag. It's giving us the location of where we staked it out, and it's giving us the perfect design location. Finally, the last thing to note in our Edit button here is that we can choose an export destination for any of these exports. You can see that it's going to my user in Documents FieldLink and the project name specifically in this exports folder. Note that we can choose a different destination. If, for example, we would like to put it on the Trimble Connect cloud, we could click our cloud, or straight to a thumb drive if it is plugged into our tablet or computer. Lastly, this is the line work button that I had checked. Since I had both points clicked on either side of this line, it exports this line with my drawing file. That's it for the export menu. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you in the next tutorial.